Good morning, Vape fam. I'm Juicy Jones. Welcome to Orbital Vaping headquarters. Today we are going to look at the Wotofo Conqueror Mini, and I'm going to show you how to build on it. I'll tell you all about it. So let's get to it. VapeAM Wotofo Conqueror Mini review for real. Good morning, y'all. How are you? Let me get the right thing up. This is the Wotofo Conqueror Mini review. I'm Juicy Jones. This is Orbital Vaping headquarters, and this show is called VapeAM. In VapeAM, you get to wake up with me. We do reviews, and stick with us after the show. It's a live show, and we'll do Q&A, do channel updates, shout outs, and talk to people and everything. So I got this Wotofo Conqueror Mini from HeavenGifts for review, and there's a link in the description down below for you guys who want it. It's about 28 bucks. And I'm gonna go down to the desk, use the camera view, show you guys what's going on down there, open the box, and then put a wick through some coils on this thing and come up and vape on it and talk to you. Okay, so let's get down there. Wham! Hey, this little guy, HeavenGifts sent this to me, and it's kind of weird because the first thing that they sent was actually defective. This is actually a defective unit in this box, and this is the one that I'm vaping on, which is actually fantastic. But it's a little bit strange that, not strange, but I just got kind of unlucky with one of them, unfortunately. Kind of a little bit of a bummer. But they sent one right away, so HeavenGifts is great, there's no doubt. That's the actual RTA. Before I open that little guy up, though, let me come over here and open the box and see what's inside there. The Conqueror Mini box is nice. You know, Wotofo has pretty good packaging. It's got some authenticity stuff. Come on, baby, focus. You think it's going to? Yeah. And I love how they've put some advocacy information on there, finally. That's a really good thing. Obviously, UPC code. And some scratch and sniffs. And this tells you that it's stainless steel. The stainless steel is about $28, and the black is about $30 on HeavenGifts. Just about. And, okay. So we open it up, and there's a manual, which I'll talk about in 1 second. But it comes with your basic tools. I have coils I have in here. They did send some with it, but they're ones that are just some pretty basic bad ones. But the two most interesting things are here. Let me just pop out the foam, and I will show you guys the bags. One of the things I don't like about this package is that all your tools and everything come in these black bags, and it isn't always easy to tell sometimes what's what. Like, that's obviously cotton right there, some Muji. But I opened one of these, and all my grub screws just flew out all over the couch. So I prefer if this were clear, but this comes with all the parts you need. It has a screwdriver, O-rings, more grub screws, all that stuff in these guys. And my package is already open. And obviously it comes with an extra piece of glass right here, and this was obviously inside there, and I took it out and put it on the Tab Mini. These are some Geek Vape fused Clapton coils that I put on here, and I got these from HeavenGifts as well, and I'm actually vaping on those. And these are the coils that we're going to put into this bing little guy. And since this one doesn't work, we're just going to vape on mine. But I'm going to do a full breakdown here and show you guys this thing. In fact, I think I'm going to set the focus on sort of like middle focus forever. And then if you guys also have questions and stuff, I would love to hear them, because I know that you're in the audience. And for now, if you're live, you'll be able to ask them while we go. And I might be able to see them, but definitely will be able to see them afterwards. Okay, I'm just configuring the video and telling it to turn off autofocus, and I'm going to go somewhere about right there. So here is our little baby, and I want to say hello to everybody in the audience too. You guys are the best. Hydro, Bob, Roy, Sarkaz, Neil, James, Graham, everybody. You guys are great. Okay, so here is the Conqueror Mini. It has a much better look than the Conqueror. The Conqueror was a big monolith of steel, and I really like what they did with the Conqueror Mini, putting these little trapezoidal, those are useless but decorative but cool. And this drip tip they try to make it sort of has a cooling effect by putting a gap here of air, but it really isn't suitable in my opinion. Probably good for high builds at low wattage, probably just fine. But for me and the way I vape, mainly not so much. But, you know, in my case, I just use my dot mod drip tip, which works beautifully on that. So it's great. In fact, I'm going to vape this. Oh, so good. Okay. And this thing is enormously attractive, in my opinion. It has the little trapezoids. It has a top fill system that is, unfortunately, not quite as good as... Sorry. I got that on there tight, y'all. Oh my god, am I going to have to manhandle this? Yeah. There we go. It has a top fill system that is not quite as cool as the Serpent Mini, but it is almost identical. The difference is that there's a slightly different profile in the top here, and I'll take this off and show you. You see that there is a little dome here for it to come up, or a little neck out, but here you have to put your bottle in here, and I can tell you from experience that largemouth drip tips or largemouth bottles like this always get e-liquid into the thing here. It's really annoying. The Serpent Mini is slightly different because it has a sunken top, which for some reason is designed slightly differently and captures the e-liquid different. But in my case, it took a lot of playing around not to get e-liquid in here, but it works absolutely perfectly fine for everything else. I mean, you can just imagine that, you know, there's no needle that it can't perfectly accommodate. You know, it's just fine. So these are just fine. That bugged me for a few bottles I had. Otherwise, of course, it works great. You just pop that back in there. And I'll take the bottom off. The 510 is suitable for using on your Noisy Cricket 2. What you see when you come out here is that, and in the manual, they claim that this has juice flow control. And let me show you guys what I'm calling that no, they do not have juice flow control. Look what they claim juice flow control is. They claim juice flow control is this right here, from there to there. And there is no position here where it's fully closed. So, you know, just don't even, and it's going to leak like a sieve, I can tell you for a fact. So anyway, screw this down all the way and just use it. It says in the manual it has juice flow control, but that's just absolutely not true. That's just a dome that has a 2-stage wicking thing that goes in here. And you'll see that the actual deck is a postless deck, just like the Conqueror, but smaller actually, obviously. And has these minuscule little flathead screws here, which I find quite annoying. But, you know, I get that they were going for small size. But, man, these are a pain. And they're not even a pain until the first time you actually lose one. Then you're like, holy shit. So my advice for you is not to unscrew these very far, ever. And just the bare minimum if you have to. You can see in there quite clearly that it doesn't need to come out any further than that. The first day I opened this, I ran around looking for grub screws and having a hard time and all that stuff for a while. So what's cool about this, though, is two things. Look what they give you. They give you this little tool that tells you where to cut your coils. This is so groovy. These coils, you stick on here, and you simply chop them right there with your clippers. So you take your clippers, which somehow that is the only tool that isn't on my desk. Luckily, I've already chopped these. Wow, that's perplexing how I could have forgotten that one thing. Ha! Welcome to YouTube, guys. And then you just cut them right there. I would actually cut them probably on the top and not on the bottom. And you'll see our coils will come out a little bit tall. They'll be okay. And how cool is that? So for everything you're doing, you basically just put the coil on there and then cut it right where it says to. So that way when you smash these things down inside the atomizer, the leads are always the same length, and that's really cool. So I'm going to put this on the Coil Master and then adjust the focus so at least we're down inside there. Thank you to Coil Master for sending the Coil Master tab. Love you. You're great. Awesome. I want to configure the video. Oh, there we are. Well, there. Okay. So getting this little guy on here is actually pretty darn easy. You just take the coils that you cut and smash them down inside there, and then tighten the button or tighten the screws. I really have to give Wotofo a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry, my hand's in the way. Wotofo a little bit of credit here that they really couldn't have made this easier, except for the fact that, well, yes, they could. The way they could have made this easier was by using a different fastener than a flathead screw. But otherwise, it works fine. And remember, this doesn't work. Remember I told you guys how one of these doesn't work? Well, that's the one that doesn't work. You can also just use your screwdriver, but of course you'll need your screwdriver because you'll be putting this in here and then screwing it down. As long as they don't touch each other, it does not matter what they look like inside here. And it's better to use space coils. And I can tell you that for builds for this thing, I do not recommend building like I do. I recommend building like a 6-wrap dual 26. That's what this thing is best with. I'm doing this because I'm an alien junkie and I hate battery life. So, but do not build like me. Build smarter than I do. And this will get a fantastic battery life and also obviously get good flavor. There's something about the way the cap and the dome and everything work that gives this thing great flavor. I think I accidentally mismatched my coils. It's not going to matter because we're not going to fire these anyway. They won't fire. This is broken. I'm really just showing you how to build it because we're going to put some wicking in here, and one of the things I'll demonstrate is how tough this can be if you don't. If you put in like a 5 or 6 wrap 26, you're going to have no problem doing this. And with this, it's going to be trickier wicking, but it's going to work. So we're going to take some Texas Tough Quick Wicks, which I like a lot. And phase 1 of our test was with RDAs, and phase 2 of our test with Texas Tough is in tanks. So I put it into my own personal Conqueror Mini. This one that works amazing. And now we're going to use it here. So we don't need much. But one of the things about this is that it requires just a very, very, very small amount of wicking. I'm not kidding. That isn't in the diameter. The coil diameter inside needs to be correct, but the outside, you trim a lot away, and you'll see what I mean. One of my small complaints about this is that it's way, way, way easier with a cotton hook. In fact, this is the only RTA I've ever had that I wish I had a cotton hook. Because if you build the coils at the length they give you, they tend to be underneath these little channels right here where the wicking holes are. And so it can be tough to get the wicking through here. But with the benefit of a Coilmaster tab and a decent share, it's actually just fine. So we really don't need most of this cotton. So okay, I'll trim that up in a second. This is my incredibly lazy trademark Juicy Jones method of wicking. Okay, so if you look at this, what I've got to do is trim a little bit of the off the outsides and I've got to size these up correctly, trim a little bit off the outsides and a little bit off the bottom. And the reason is because the bottom can get all kludged up. So I'm going to start on the shortest one here because it's closest to where I want to be in the first place. And I hope you guys can see that this is illustrative for you. Basically, I just separate them, and then for me it seems pretty easy. I did this a few different ways, and I just like taking the bulk out. That's what I ended up doing. I did it a variety of ways: short, long, skinny, narrow, thinning, just all kinds of stuff. But to me, this worked pretty darn good. So I just separate them and then cut away the outsides. And then when I put them in, you'll see we'll trim some off the bottom too. right. I leave the bulk on the insides. It's fine. And this isn't scientific or anything. Well, it actually is scientific, but it isn't. The amounts and sizes aren't measured. I'm just eyeballing it and taking off some from the outsides like I want to. So now I'm going to look at this thing and yeah. What we want is for these guys to be a little shorter on the bottom so the tops can come down and tuck inside there. So it's rather simple, really. And you can believe me that this is much easier with 26s that you make shorter inside here, because all you have to do with those is fill up these channels right here with wicking. That's all you've got to do, literally. I have to do all this because of my insane predilection to vape aliens at 60 watts on this tiny tank. And that's what I wanted to do. I'm going to do the exact same thing on this side. I'm just looking for size here. I got to find the bottom. I use this precisely the same method. I'll do this one first. That has to go. Goodbye. Okay, I use the same method on the one I'm vaping on. Okay, so now I'm going to take the baby. Oh, I'm sorry, I hit the camera. I'm taking the baby screwdriver and I'm just going to give it the tuck. Oh, that's my tea maker saying it's ready. And I just tuck it in. Start on the outside, do yourself a favor. And basically I just try to tuck all this stuff so that it's inside here and not sticking out, guys. You definitely do not want this sticking out. You want it to be filling up these holes and taking up space above them inside the chamber once it's all screwed together. You see how all we did really was thin out some of the bottom in just kind of a fast way so that I can cram that inside there like that. Like that's really just all I did. Ding. And one more here. One of the things that I don't like about the Conqueror Mini is that if you don't just build plain wire builds, the wicking is just a tiny bit fussy. If you're using aliens or Claptons, it's sort of like you have to think about it using more juice in different ways. And so this is a kind of a less is more method that I use here to get sort of like a more controlled wicking so that I can, this is not made, and I'm going to talk about how this vape's up on top once we're finished wicking it, but this thing is not made for huge clouds. So the aliens that I put in here are for flavor. So this method of wicking is 100% designed to let me vape, at 0.2 at 50 to 65 watts, sometimes 85 if I'm feeling ambitious or it's cold. But remember that this is not a TFV12 or anything. This is a Conqueror Mini. So the airflow is by definition restricted compared to what you might see in these big tanks like this OBS right here, which is like a TFV 60. You see I've got a little bit of fuzz on that thing right there. So take it off. And I'm just using the flat part of the screwdriver just to push that stuff inside there. That's really all I did there. After you trim it, all you have to do is get it in there. And I go from the sides and the bottom, or the top and the sides in. Sides go in, top goes in. Once you have the size correct, it all just fits. I tell you, it took me a lot of tries to figure this out, to get this to work with aliens. Again, let me reiterate that if you're doing 26s or something, single wire builds, plain wire builds, this is quite a bit easier. And there we go. Oops. I'm actually not super happy with that. Oh yeah, I am actually. It had a slight twist, but that's fine. The twist I'm not worried about. A kink or a knot wouldn't work. Because remember that when you're wicking, your whole goal is to fill up these channels and then to just let the cotton be a stopper for the channels to get it to the last mile right into the coil. And that the tank is a machine that does the rest of the work. Okay, so there we are. And now we take this guy and screw it on. You would obviously wet that normally, but you know, I wicked it correctly so it doesn't have any it doesn't have any problems with the threading getting gunked up there. And it's, like I said, it says it has juice control, but that is of course nonsense. So let me get out my actual wicked and working Conqueror Mini here, and then we'll put back on autofocus. This guy, once it's actually working, is totally great. It works pretty well. I get buildup inside here quite often, and because the juice flow control is a little bit random sometimes where the holes end up, sometimes you can have unavoidable leaking. But if you use more wicking with plain wire builds than I did there, and less wicking with these aliens, because they themselves wick better, then you'll have okay results and not get some leaking. I had leaking on the first 3 or 4 tanks that I built. Let's go back up top and see what's up. I'll just finish talking about this a little bit. So there it is. The Wotofo Conqueror Mini. Overall, this tank, one thing you have to know is that the airflow is restricted. Even with the airflow fully open, and I am at 72 watts right now with dual aliens, just like you saw there, V0.15. These are dual 4-wrap aliens. I made them a little bit smaller so I could fit more wick in. And I'm only vaping them at 72 watts. In fact, I was not even vaping them that much. I was vaping them at 65 or so a little bit earlier. And I think I did that for fun. The airflow is always restricted. So this is a great RTA for those of you who have to have dual coils. If you want a single coil, just get a Serpent Mini. I think the Serpent Mini has a little edge on this because I'm not convinced I actually need 2 coils. And although this is a great machine and it is very attractive, I'm not sure I don't like the Serpent Mini better. But let me just say that the Conqueror Mini is a good machine. It wicks well. It does its job well. The flavor on this thing is absolutely killer flavor. You can trust me, it is good. So, all in all, yes, buy this if you want a new RTA for flavor. This is not for cloud chuckers. This is for people with intermediate or low draws. It works best with plain wire 26 builds. It's a little bit of a pain to wick. You probably give it a couple of tries, watch my video, and vary on that a little bit for your own needs. And otherwise, these are great. It's about 30 bucks from HeavenGifts. So thank you guys. If you like these videos, click like, click subscribe, and hang out after the show, and we'll do channel updates and talk to you guys in the live chat and everything. Thank you so much. Yum! Hey, you guys. Hi, I'm here. How are you? I'm going to come to chat and talk to y'all. What did you guys think about my Wotofo Conqueror Mini review? Did I miss something? Hey, Owen. Great to see you. You guys, hi. I'm never going to catch up with all this chat. Someone catch me up. What have you guys been talking about? Ooh, someone's got their Noisy Cricket 2, Limitless Plus. Someone's got their Fishbone RDA. There's Dro. Hi, you. Dro's got his Noisy Cricket 2, this Griffin Mini. I still want a Griffin Mini. Would you remind me if you're using the factory coils, or the Griffin's an RTA, right? It's the Eagle that is the factory coil one. Right, okay. I still want a Griffin Mini. And what else? And then, yeah, the 120s. Yeah, the 120. We were talking about the 120s. It didn't fit very well into the Conqueror. And it's, yeah, the ones from Van Gogh. These are the rage right now because China's selling a bunch of people bought a lot of these. So Swag Sauce, Van Gogh. I've got them from everybody actually, except for the glass people. The glass people. Oh, and Liquid Sky doesn't. Oh my God! Look what I just found. I'm gonna vape this. So the flavor on this thing is great. Any of you guys own the Conqueror Mini or the Serpent Mini? Just curious. This thing is killer. I'm going to be using this for a long time. I mean, between this and the Serpent, this is great. Seriously. Am I going to review the Engine Nano? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I've thought about it. I mean, I've been watching it since it went on pre-sale and everything on announcement. But, oh, wait a minute. The Engine Nano? Yes. Yes. Yeah, I need to look and see that. The answer is definitely yes. Because I did the Engine Mini, and yeah, absolutely want to do the single coil. Absolutely. So you got them both? Good. I'm gonna know what you guys think too. Yeah, Ryan, I am so interested in reviewing the Engine Nano. I got to get a bunch of other reviews out for OBS, including the V tank. The V tank is a trip. I may do it next. I should do the Maxo next, but I think I'm gonna do the V tank next. Yeah, but I'm just not sure. The V tank is such a giant thing. It doesn't really. I have to go through a lot more juice. That's the thing. David Minter is talking about the new Q Mini with the Merlin Mini. Oh, that sounds great. Owen's not using any tanks. I know. I feel bad, Owen. You even got the wrong one for an RTA. Hey, Andrew Piper. Ryan, you should grow a beard. Yeah. This is super great. They really did a good job with this. The flavor is really on point. It's really good. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. So check this out, guys. Check out what I have. Let me find my window here. Look at those. You know what this is? 2,700 batteries. This is an 18650, obviously, with a 2,700. Oh, I'm so excited. So we're building a mod to use these. It's going to use an RX250 chip. We're going to see what's going on. This is an actual 30 amp, 3000 mAh battery. It actually produces 30 amps and has 3000 mAh. So that's pretty amazing. Pretty cool. Oh, Ryan, you said you are growing a beard. Yeah, that's good. That's the trick. The trick to growing a beard is that you let it go for at least 6 weeks. It depends on your beard. I have to let mine go slightly longer, 6-8 weeks, and then you sculpt it. And it pays to go to a barber and have them help you too. But basically you pick a line here, and you pick a line here and here, and then you pick a line here and you trim them. Get the right tools. You'll need the right tools. But yeah, besides that, a few basic tools like a razor. Beard is actually pretty low maintenance except for trimming it. I need to go get mine done again here pretty soon. I love my beard. Oh, it's got a nice big one too. We were watching The Amazing Race recently, and these guys had these humongous German competition beards. They were fantastic. Original hipsters. I love them. Yeah, I love this thing. Now that I figured out how to wick it myself, the Conqueror Mini is absolutely fantastic. It's great. It was a little bit iffy at first because it tended to be real weepy and real cryy, but once you master it, it's good. And it's not too much of a pain. I love the little tool they send. If everyone gave you a little tool that got your coils exactly right every time, it'd be so handy. That's such a good idea. Like, I absolutely love it. Thank you so much, you clever people at Wotofo. They are so clever. Yeah. So I also am going to get a Petri RTA as soon as I can afford it, I guess. I keep on having to buy other stuff for the channel. And what else? I've got my ocular coming. Do you guys remember that I've got the ocular? It is a Joytech 5000 mAh 80 watt mod, which is going to be great. That sits inside my 80 watts is great on a LiPo, and has a touch screen, MP3s, and the whole 9 yards. So that's going to be funny. I have the TFV12 coming, and you know, I don't know if I'm excited about it. I guess I am a little bit. I like the TFV8, but I don't love the huge cloud, so we'll see. The V tank feels like basically pretty much exactly what the TFV12 is going to be. This is a humongous thing. It does not work with the Noisy Cricket 2, almost ever. The V tank does not have a great 510, unfortunately. What are you making your own beard oils out of, Ryan? I'm very curious. I'm going to try some. I gotta turn that way the hell up. I'm going up to 110 watts. Oh, 126. Too much. 100. I mean, the truth is that these coils from OBS are actually really good and they're compatible with the TFE8. But you know, a lot of people, I guess, are going to like vaping like this. To me, it's a little bit too much, but the flavor is actually good. I got the one that came with 2 extra sets of coils. The V tank. Did they send me the wrong one? Because I wasn't able to get my TFE8 RBA to work in here. And this thing does not have a grade 510, so it needs an RBA base. He told me there is no RBAs on this tank. Oh, you're asking me about the TFE12. I don't remember. That is a great question. I ordered the very first one I could get my hands on, and I do not even know. That's a very good question. Thank you for reminding me. I'll probably have to order the RBA bases if I didn't get the right one. Or maybe it comes with. We'll see. Log in. View order. It doesn't say. So I gotta. They're selling replacement coils and the tank. God, it still says 27 days. Is that right, y'all? It doesn't say it comes with an RBA, so I may need to get that. Fuck, what a pain. Pre-orders. So you're making your oils out of jojoba, sweet almond essential oils, castor oil. That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, mine's made of tea tree. It's really nice. I like it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to order the one with the RBA base. My God. So this one holds 28 millimeters wide. Oh my God. I dread it. It's gonna be way too much glass. We'll see though. We'll give it a shot. Yeah, when I pre-ordered it, there was only one. So they have another one now. I should remember. I should just go look it up. I can still cancel this pre-order. It's not going to be for 28 more days. So it's not too late. Yeah, I definitely want the Engine Nano too. Because single coils are coming back in style. Especially with good tanks like the Serpent and the Conqueror. Even though the Conqueror is a dual coil. It's still, the Conqueror really, to me, underscores the superiority of the single coil, honestly. Ooh, the flavor. 102 watts is a little bit much for that. It worked, though. Ooh, that's so good. This is Eaton Mess from Van Gogh Vapes. Oh my God, so good. By the way, Van Gogh Vapes, by the way, gives us a 15% discount, guys. Use the code JuicyJonesHQ on their website. And they're from Canada, so it's already less expensive than normal juice, which is pretty cool. And thank you to Van Gogh Vapes for doing that for the fans. They did that for y'all because they're cool. I'm enjoying some nice PT tips. Any eating mess on my Geek Vape aliens. I must say, these Geek Vape fused aliens are pretty darn good. I'm going to do a separate review of these here pretty soon. Yeah, Dro, that thing looks pretty good. Remind me what the name of that thing is. It has a slightly strange name. I've seen it a million times. I never bothered memorizing it. I like the idea. Yeah, Andrew Piper, and you're pointing out that the tank gets bigger too, and that's one thing that bothers me about the TFE8, and one reason I like my big baby, because the big baby is flush to the sides. And so, you know, if it falls and you don't have a rubber band on it, sometimes the glass doesn't break. Whereas the TFE8 full size, and I'm sure the TFE12, oh my God, I mean, I'm sure that the glass breaks all the freaking time on those things, or they will. Because, I mean, the minute you forget to put a rubber band on it, it's gonna break. And Drew says that tank's called the Amit. Yeah, I think it is called the Amit. And that looks pretty good to me. Yeah, I love it. That's pretty funny. Oh. All right, I'm just doing a quick time check here. For those of you just tuning in, I'm Juicy Jones. This is Orbital Vaping Headquarters, and the show is VapeAM. Today we reviewed the Conqueror Mini by Wotofo, and HeavenGifts sent this for review. Thank you all for that. And my review on this is that it's good. If you want a flavor RTA that is got intermediate airflow, then by all means, if you need dual coils, get this. If you want a single coil, get the Serpent, I think. Crazy Cook 678 says the Amit's really nice. That sounds good. Yeah, Geek Vape is hot. Geek Vape has been doing pretty darn good. The Amit looks good to me too. I think I'll take a look at it again. Whoops. I know that's loud, sorry. Yeah, there we go. My only problem with the Geek Vape stuff this year is that they make everything so tall these days. And they've done a pretty good job with the flavor, but I just don't love how tall everything is. I mean, at least the Amit is their small one, so that's cool. But still, it's 43 millimeters high. So I wonder if I've got my ruler here on the desk. I don't. I think it's in the other room. Yeah, because I'd like to see. Just gonna brush my beard a little bit. Oh, look at this. Here's a graduated ruler. So this one is 43 millimeters high. That is right here. And my Conqueror is only 34 without the drip tip. Yeah, and this is 43 without the drip tip. So, I mean, the Amit is much taller. And this is this 22? Let's see. This is also 22. So the Conqueror, the Serpent is much smaller. But one thing I know is that Geek Vape has done a really good job with flavor on those tanks. Yeah. That's a characteristic of all of them, of the Griffin, of the Eagle, you know, all their design. They picked that kind of tallish design, and it works for them. It has to do with their top airflow, the option that they have on those things too. You know, I get that. Ryan Berman says that that's his only con with his Billow B3 Plus. What is the plus part of that, Ryan? I'm just curious. Yeah, and Dro says he doesn't mind the size too. And you know, honestly, it isn't a huge deal either. It's like I don't have to have every tank be the smallest tank. Obviously, I like the TFE8, so I just tend to prefer small ones too. But I'm just curious. Oh, hey, D&D's Vapes, great to see you. Thanks for joining us. We're good. We just reviewed the Conqueror Mini. We're having a hangout now, drinking some tea, vaping some vape on our vape. Yum. I hope there's some wake in my lush. You guys think there is? Heck yeah. Good. I'm going to vape this and see what's going on my lush. Because I like it. Oh, look what I've got here. I've got my cheetah from OBS. Yeah. Dro, if you want something that absolutely never leaks, get the engine. Engine anything. They won't leak. Absolutely. Yeah, get the engine. Get the engine mini, engine micro. That design doesn't leak. It just does not. So, and it's also the easiest thing in the universe to build on. If you like the way they look, get it. Here is my engine, RTA. Yeah, and it's 24 millimeters, I think. And looks good. Will never leak. Side fill. I think this is the mini version. Oh, it's a pounder. Good. Thanks, Rogerm. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. Here's my engine RTA, and here's my engine mini. This is a full-size RTA. It's 25 millimeters. I don't know, Neil. It depends on when Luke wants to do that. I'm ready whenever he wants to. He doesn't really want to do the live shows anymore. But absolutely would love to do the first second he wants to. You contacted Geek Vape because the glass spins and everything's tightened down. Did you change the O-rings too? Because yeah, maybe it's not screwing down all the way. I get what you're saying there. I'm gonna put the drip tip in here. This is my engine from OBS, the RTA. The OBS RTA is a great RTA. Oh shit. I need to find a regular 510. There it is. Found it. So the mini is 23. There you go. And then this one's 25, I'm sure. Ish. I could measure it. But it's a good guess. Yeah, it's 25. Or 24 and a half or something. But this one will never leak. Yeah, looking at that, you see Crazy Cooks recommended the Engine Mini 2-post? That's killer. This is a 2-post. This is the big size one. But I personally don't think the flavor is as good as everyone else does on this thing. But I can tell you that you will like it and it will never leak. And that is a good thing. Yeah, Engine Nano, got a good shout out. So the whole engine system is popular now. Their two clear misers are good too, frankly. I carry this thing all the time. I mean, it's good. It's not my absolute favorite, but it's pretty darn close. It's good. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Dro, I think the chimney is supposed to separate. At least that's how it was on my Kennedy. On my Griffin. I believe. Yeah, if you want flavor, I mean, this is about as close as you get to no leaking. You're not going to get the same flavor. I don't know. It's about the same as the Griffin. A lot of people pick this as their favorite thing ever, so try this. Definitely. The engine system, you'll dig it. Yeah. You can get one at HeavenGifts. Tell them Juicy Jones sent you. They didn't give me a code. They should. Jim Bean, if you get popping and cracking in your coils, that is because you don't put enough cotton inside the coil. So make sure that you're filling the area with cotton. Don't overstuff it, but make sure it's just full. See, there's a little bit of popping there. It's because I probably made the diameter inside. You know, I find this isn't really loud, but you see what I mean. If it's real bad, then try to put a little bit more cotton inside the coil. Joe, I'm not sure about that then on the Griffin Mini. I don't know. The engine is one of the easiest things to work on in the history of vape. This thing is so freaking gigantic and humongously simple and easy. It is just astonishingly simple. Like, really, it's hard to screw up. Their threading isn't the best. It always takes me 3 or 4 tries to get it on. There we go. But this thing, they will not leak. Will not leak. And the airflow adjustment is easy and stays put on the top. And flavor's good. Yeah, Ryan, when you clean, that's my biggest complaint about the engine is that the apparatus that they use, this whole apparatus is just a lot of metal and stuff. So you definitely have to like fully rinse it out and shit. So I definitely agree with you. Udro, the avocado, fuck yeah. Which one do they have? Do they have the 24 or the 22 or the 22 SE? I'm excited for you. Got something on my lip. That's very exciting. In fact, I want to see my where exactly my order from Fast-Tick is, because I think it shipped before they went on vacation. I believe. Maybe not. Wow, that's confusing. It's a weird tracking number. It says it arrived in the US on the 1st. That's today, right? Yeah, so it arrived a couple of days ago. How cool is that? Hey, Home Base, great to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I was just looking at my Fast-Tick order here. Oh, Andrew's using the Serpent Alto. That's killer. Oh yeah, I also think that the Serpent and the Conqueror Mini are better than the engine as well. But they're kind of different beasts too. People that want the engine want a much different vape. They usually want higher wattages and stuff. Yeah, Bob. If Bob points out that you can lower the wattage and get less of that pop and crackle, but that's because it's not vaping as much stuff in there, obviously, which is fine. CS Vapes are selling the V-God trick for $8. Wow, that's cheap. $8. Wow. So, Droz, they have the 22 SE and the 24. Get the 22 SE. Get the 22 SE. Buddy, you're stoked. I wish my local store had the freaking 22 SE. I have to wait forever for mine, like 2 more weeks. I would go today and buy one. I love it. Yeah, get the because my favorite one was the 22. Although they did change the top. It's not domed anymore, but still. Okay, I'm seeing what this $8 sale is. The V-God. Boom. I'm not sure if it's FedEx or not. It's like one of the weird posts. Ryan prefers the Limitless over the avocado. I personally think the avocado is slightly better. There it is, deal of the day. The V-God Trick Tank, $8. Wow, that is cheap. Yawn. I need more cotton. Worse than I need another tank. Although I say that because I've got like 3 more tanks here to review. Yeah, it does have a side fill like the Limitless. It's really nice. You know, Jim Bean, the popping and cracking isn't a result of the coils being spaced or not. But personally, I prefer spaced coils. Probably as a beginner, try spaced coils because they require a lot less fiddling. Just don't use as many wraps, and you can put them onto your thing here and just tug on them, and they space nicely. Or you can wind them on a screw, which is nice too, and they wind nicely. Or you can wind them 2 at a time and just pop them apart, and they'll be spaced out nicely. Yeah, it probably is DHL. I bet you're right. Yeah, I don't know. Half the time I don't even know. But I can't wait to get it. It says it's in the country, so I should be getting it in the next week. So I'll have one of those weird oculars. That'll be great. I'm really excited about that. The ocular is going to be some nice eye candy. I've got to do some kind of review on this Alpha Fox Nine Tails mob, which I really like, but I need to get some information from them, and they're on vacation. So it's not convenient. Yeah, the one thing about the engine is that you can't really vape it totally dry without rinsing it out. I mean, you can. The nice thing, though, is that it's easy to rinse out. You just pop the bottom out and rinse the whole thing out. Great tank, though. There's churros in it. Well, hello. You are my pretty little Conqueror. The Conqueror Mini looks fantastic on the Noisy Cricket, too, as well. It just looks fantastic. Yeah, and Ryan Berman points out they stay clean longer, too. They're easier to set. They stay clean longer. They taste just as good. To be quite honest, a lot of the reasons why we have these tightly crammed coils is just because people want to cram in more coils, or people want to take pictures that look cooler as well sometimes. And that's not to be discounted. There's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, for example, I took out a wrap on these last night and spaced them out and put them back in and re-wicked it, and I like it much better, and it was much easier. So, whatever you prefer, you can do that. Let me see where we at on our time. Oh, it's time to go. So, I'm Juicy Jones. This is Orbital Vaping Headquarters. I love all of you. Thank you so much for tuning into the broadcast today. VapeAM was all about the Conqueror Mini, the review today. It was fun, and it was fun chatting with you guys. We'll have the announcement for the Nuve mod giveaway. If you haven't gone and entered this, make sure that you watch the Sarcas Vapes Nuve mod 2016 giveaway, and you'll get the 1-year giveaway thanks to Nuve Mods and Vapor & Co. for the Goon and this, and a couple of Limitless mods and some shirts. I'm going to announce all that stuff Saturday, and I'll let it go for a month here. And the video is in a card here, but you can find it on my profile. So all of you were great, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you.